Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Don Fanboy. I did it. My first Nuzlocke. I have seen plenty of these online and decided I wanted to subject myself to the mental and emotional draining way of playing Pokemon. Just like everyone else. For those who don't know, a Nuzlocke is a grueling, painful and challenging way of playing Pokemon. I can only catch the first Pokemon I encounter in every region. If a Pokemon faints, then it is considered dead. I either have to release it or box it, and I can no longer use it for the rest of the game. I must nickname each Pokemon, so when they die, and they will, it's just much more emotionally draining and drives me closer to losing my sanity. Why am I doing this? Is it because I'm a masochist? Let's find out. After a weird Hawaiian man stops me and asks me for my name, which I tell him is Don Boy. He tells me about a toad wearing a lily pad, then knocks me out and throws me into the back of a moving van, where I wake up just to be greeted by my mum outside our new house. We go inside and watch as my brothers move furniture. Think of that what you will. I reset the space-time continuum via the clock in my room and then venture outside into the grass where a little girl says, "No! Meet your neighbours." I then go to the neighbours and find a suspicious object on the floor which I try to steal. Oh, hi! Hey, my rival May. Hi. Who suspects nothing? I was just, looking around. Gotta go. I go back to the wilderness and the little girl says yes. So I venture outside and find the weird Hawaiian man getting chased by a zebra rodent thing, my bob. He begs me to help. So I walk away, as I decided he should suffer what he did to me before. Help me! Oh my god! So I decide to help him, and he offers me a Pokemon. So I take Mudkip, for obvious reasons, and saved him. He brought me to his lab and gave me the Mudkip, which I named Jeremy. I then went out and ventured with Jeremy to explore the land and went to buy some Pokeballs and continued up to Route 103 where I found my neighbour, who still suspects nothing, who challenged me to a good pounding, and lost. I ran back to the Hawaiian man's lab where he gifts me a Pokedex and gave me some of his balls. Pokeballs, that is. And thus, the Nuzlocke begins. I can now catch Pokemon. As I venture out, I catch my mum who gives me some running shoes. I then venture to Route 101 to get my first encounter, which is a Poochyena. Yay! Which I named Might Bitey. Welcome to the team, Might Bitey. I took advantage of the other encounters and caught another Poochyena on Route 103. Yay! I named her Mighty Bite. Just taking a pause here, there's another Nuzlocke rule called the Dupes Clause, meaning duplicate encounters do not count and you can keep looking until you find a new encounter in said region. I decided not to play this rule as I felt it'd be more fun. God, I was so wrong. And challenging and more real, to be honest. The first encounter is the first encounter, regardless of what it is. Whether I keep that rule in the future, I probably won't keep that rule in the future, will be something for future me to think about. Now, back to the playthrough. I caught a serious Zigzagoon, which I appropriately named Zagzagoon, with a great ability pickup. I can see you staying on my team for a very long time. I made it to Petalburg and met my dad. Hey dad, why do we not move to Petalburg? Haha. Son. After he completely ignored my question, he then told me he wouldn't fight me until I retrieved at least 4 badges, and then asked me to show a loser to catch a Pokemon, and he catches a what? A Ralts. Like, what the hell? I got greeted by another Hawaiian man with shades and just ignored everything he said and left to Route 104 for my next encounter. Is it a Wingull? Is it a Lotad? Oh my god, could it be a Poochyena? Which I named Mr. Bitey and then realised that he was a she. And then changed it to a miss. Ventured into Petalburg Woods, where I caught a timid Wurmple I called the Jeff, beat up a guy from the Blue Man group, who was harassing a guy called Devin, looking for a Shroomish. Oh, I wish I had a Shroomish. I then went out and caught... oh, for God's sake. Which I called Please No, because that's how I felt, and made my way to Rustboro City. I immediately went to Route 117 to catch a new Pokemon to help me get over my hatred for Poochyenas and caught a quirky Wishmer, which I named Scream. I was quite pleased with this capture as I remember from playing it when I was younger that Exploud was an impressively good Pokemon. I then managed to get the Jeff to evolve into a Silcoon and swapped Mighty Bite for Scream. I took on the Rustboro gym and easily beat Roxanne thanks to Jeremy, even when Nosepass tried to block me. Jeremy also evolved into a Marsh Tom. I ventured through Route 117 and met a man crying about his lost Pico, which I thought was another name for his pen. I went into Rustturf Tunnel and caught myself another Wispo, which I named Shut Up. I beat up another member of the Blue Men group and saved Pico, which I'm surprised to see is a seagull. I returned him to Mr. Blindy. I retrieved Devin's parts. The Jeff evolved into a Beautyfly, returned Devin's parts to a man in a chair who rewarded me by asking me to deliver a letter to his long lost girlfriend Stevie. I picked up the cut HM, beat up May, and made my way to Mr. Blindy. After reenacting a scene from Family Guy of Herbert and Chris Griffin, he offered to take me to Dewford City. I went straight to Granite Cave to get my next encounter. I was very excited for this encounter, as I always had an Aggron and a Hariyama on my team. They're like two of my favourite Pokemon from this region. I was hoping for an Aron or a Makuhita, and lo and behold I got a meh. I guess Crobat's pretty good. I named him Eyes, for obvious reasons. I finally have a team of 6 unique Pokemon. After a bit of training, I decided to take on the second gym. I will admit, I went into the gym guns blazing and just a little overconfident, to the point where I thought I would switch train some of the lower members of my team. I took on the first gym trainer who nearly KO'd me with their Meditite's Bind. That should have been the first sign of what's to come. The next gym trainers were a double battle where Meditite and Matchop decided to tag team the Jeff and gave us our first death of the run. With a Confusion Karate Chop combo, I was devastated, as I knew I could have prevented this if I took it more seriously. In my devastation, I just threw Mike Bitey out, an underlevel Dark type against 2 5 times. What was I thinking? My brain clearly was not working. He got Karate Chopped in half and gave me my second death. Thankfully, Eyes managed to win the rest of the fight. I cried my way back to the Pokemon Center, holding my 2 corpses, and put them in the new Death Box, so Lord Arceus can take them away. Or Giratina. I'll let fate decide. I begrudgingly brought Miss Bitey and Shut Up to the team, did some training in Granite Cave, returned to the gym. I made my way to Brawley and challenged him to a battle. I realised that he's a lot tougher than I thought he was. Jeremy took up the Matchug, but I realised that I wouldn't be able to heal and fight, so I decided to sacrifice Shut Up to heal Jeremy. Thank you, Shut Up. Your time was short, but now it's shut up forever. Jeremy finished off the rest of the team and we got our second badge. Well hey, just a little bit of more prep and training would have put me in a much better position. Got either Zubat or Beautify to learn a flying move, and I wouldn't have had any deaths. Anyway, I picked up the Flash TM and taught it to... Well, now we have a problem. No one in my team can learn Flash, so I guess that's the end of the Nuzlocke. Right, thanks guys, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. No, I had another idea. I prayed to Lord Arceus and asked if he could resurrect the Jeff just to flash me one more time. And he heard. My prayers were answered. I then went into Granite Cave and gave the man in the chair's lover, Stevie, a letter. I then asked Mr. Blindy to take me to Slateport City. I tried to get into the museum to see the Blue Man Group concert, but didn't have a ticket, so I decided to get my next encounter on Route 110. I got a Minun, which I guess is okay. I mean, it's still an electric type. I named her Not Pikachu. I then immediately found an Electrite. Learning from my last gym battle / murder party, I decided to spend a lot of time training and managed to evolve Miss Bitey to Mightyena, Zagzagoon to Linoon, and Scream into Loudred, with everybody else at least level 20. I bought a ticket to the museum and it was full of the Blue Men group for some weird reason. I then returned Devin's goods to a scientist, beat up a blue man, and then met a man with an exceptionally good hairy chest, wow, and told me about some consequences and how he likes playing in his paddling pool but wants a bigger one. I then made a sandwich, Shades showed up and I ignored him, ate the sandwich, and also met the Hawaiian man again who gave me his phone number after I told him I'm not interested that way. I then fought through a ninja's house, stumbled across May who was snooping around me too often. I didn't take anything, May. Stop following me. She challenged me to a battle to remind me she was on my case. During the battle, I paired my eyes against Grovyle, who used Pursuit, and dropped me to half, whilst I missed a Confuse Ray. I then forgot what Pursuit actually does, and tried to switch out, which sadly led to my next death of the run. My eyes were taken from me. My eyes never grew up to actually get eyes. Scream avenged him whilst Jeremy finished off a Slugma. I didn't bother picking up a 6th Pokemon, and placed Eyes in his resting place. I battled my way to Morville City, eager to rebuild my team, and headed back to Route 117, where I could find a wide variety of Pokemon. I mean, look at the options! Except for something like a Illumise. That would be pretty, oh, for God's sake. I named a lady. I went straight to the gym and met Walrein again, who wanted to battle me for some stupid reason. I destroyed him. I also destroyed Watson, thanks to Jeremy just mudshotting everything and winning me my 3rd badge. I was gifted a bike and the HM Rock Smash, which I used to get to Route 112, ready to catch myself a Numel and go to Marill instead. Yay? Oh wait, fairy types aren't here. I then made my way to Verdenturf Town, checked Walrein wasn't crying too much, punched a rock, and my strength was rewarded with strength. I then headed north through the fiery path and caught myself a Machop. Yes, a new type. I went ahead and called the Machop, who I instantly added to the team instead of Lady. I did some training on Cycle Road and then got a Geodude on the way. which I called Arms on Route 111. I met an old lady who kept insisting I should rest. Read into that what you will. My memory was foggy throughout that entire trip. I made my way to the ashy Route 113, ready to catch myself a Skarmospinder, which I named Swirl. I'm not having very good luck with this Pokemon, am I? I nearly lost Scream to Ninja Boy's exploding coughing and made it to Falbor City. Falbor Town? Yes, another town without a gym. On Route 114 I caught myself a timid Swablu. And that's pretty good, which I named Big Blue Boy, and then realised that he was a she, which I then swapped for Miss Bitey. I then caught a Soul Rock and Meteor Falls, which I called Soul Train. I'm very proud of that name. Watched the dance-off between the Blue Man and the Red Man group, still admiring that chest hair. Evolved into Machoke whilst training against Seviper. I lost Scream. I am now officially Team Zangoose. I welcomed Soul Train to the team and headed up to Mount Chimney. Fun fact, when I was a kid I used to always call it MT Chimney, MT Moon. I'm sure I wasn't the only one. Let me know if you did the same thing in the comments. Anyway, I headed up to Mount Chimney because I heard the Red Man group were throwing a party. But the Blue Man group crashed the party as well, and wow, just look at that chest hair. I mean, I met the leader of the group who challenged me to a battle. I have Jeremy, and he likes fire types. You know what happened. I then descended through the jagged path and caught a normal about time, which I named Cam, who will definitely join the team. I made it to Lava Ridge Town to earn my 4th badge. I also went into a hot spring with some old women and picked up an egg to hatch later. I beat the gym so easily, and it only took 4 water guns and a mud shot, and now I have my 4th badge. This has to be the easiest gym of the run so far. It also gave Jeremy enough experience to evolve into Swampert. I then met May again, who gave me the Go-Go goggles in an attempt to lower my guard so she could accuse me of theft, which I didn't do. I told her I didn't take anything. I then watched the girl spin herself crazy, ventured into the desert to get to a Mirage Tower. I didn't catch anything in the desert, as I don't think it counts as a new encounter. I mean, it's a new region. I mean, I didn't get the prompt. I kind of went off the prompts when I decided which area was a new area. No prompt, no encounter. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I entered Mirage Tower and caught myself a Trapinch. Yes! Absolutely buzzing with this one. Flygon is one of my all-time favourites, as I know is quite popular in the Pokemon community. So I'm glad I actually can use one during this run. Famous last words. In my excitement, I pressed the wrong button and forgot to nickname it. So another trip to Slateport City to rename him actually called him Mean Green. You know, perfect for when he reaches Flygon status. I then picked up the claw fossil and watched the root fossil sink into the sand, never to be revived again. I hatched the jacuzzi egg and got a why not, which I called a why yes, and immediately threw it into the box. I beat up an entire family's Pokemon who claim their son will find me and defeat me one day. Like that'll ever happen. This reminded me of my family, but I decided to go and beat up my dad's gym. I felt quite confident having and that he would sweep the gym leaders and possibly Dad as well. I took out the Spindler with ease, struggled slightly with Vigoroth due to Dad healing him constantly, which he gave me this much attention and care. Linu decided to play the drums using his belly, so I took it out easily, but now I have to face the dreaded Slacking. We all remember how our dad had a Pokemon with near legendary stats they would use to decimate our team. I decided to use Not Pikachu to get a Thunder Wave off and get outsped and facaded to death. Goodbye, Not Pikachu. I then used his Truant ability to my advantage and tried to get a few mud slaps to drop his accuracy before switching out. He yawns me, which prompts another switch. I decided to use Seismic Toss, thinking its weight would help take it out. You're probably thinking, why Seismic Toss? You should use Karate Chop. I also didn't realise he has Counter, which hits twice as hard, and thus Min was dead. I had to rely on Jeremy to finish up the battle, and then finally managed to win my 5th badge. I mean, I did win, but with 2 heavy losses. It was all a hollow victory. Why do you always torment me, Dad? In my defeat, I took my Soul Train to fill the gaps in my heart left by my father. Met Watson again, who asked me to catch my next encounter in New Morville. I caught a round Voltorb named Square. This would be a great addition, having lost Not Pikachu. Nearly lost Mean Green to a Sonic Boom twice. Added Square to the team for Miss Bitey. Beat up the news again. Caught another Zigzagoon. And an Oddish. I entered the Weather Institute, overrun by the Blue Men group, who I am starting to think aren't a real music group. I had a nap, fought the Blue Blue Men group, Square evolved into an Electrode, had another nap, scientists gave me a cast form who I named Poopball, because obvious reasons. I can't be the only one who thinks this. Anyway, I left and headed across the bridge where I encountered May, who challenged me to another battle. Glad I had my nap beforehand. I sweeped her. I think she's off my case now, as she rewarded me the Fly HM. So I headed to Fortree City hoping to win my 6th badge. I did some training and then got hassled by the news crew again, who thought I was getting too big for my boots. We had a double battle where their loud rent stomped Mean Green to death and Big Blue Boy. I don't know why I sent Big Blue out. Note to self, stop switch training Pokemon that could die. Thus, 2 deaths in 1 battle, thanks to the news. Mean Green never got to be green or mean, and we never got to see Big Blue actually be big. This poetic death hurt hard. I lost my 2 future dragon types. I also lost my 2 flyers as well. I then bought Cam and Oddish, who I will appropriately name later. I took on the gym and spent a little too long on the last puzzle. I sent out Square, who's perfect for this battle. The Swabbler wasn't an issue, but then came the Altarnary, which he sent out quite early on considering that is her ace. I hit her with a spark and saw that it barely did anything. He then started dragon dancing, but we managed to get a paralysis on the second spark and then didn't move because of that paralysis. This could work until Altarnary knows Earthquake. This is when does Altarnary know Earthquake? And murders Square. I was fuming. Jeremy and Soul Train managed to take out the rest of the team. I evolved Oddish into Gloom and named her Blossom, and then used a Leaf Stone to evolve her into a Vileplume. Along the way, Cam also became Camerupt. I then had a massive training session because I was sick of watching my team die constantly. I've seen other Nuzlockes, and no one has had as much deaths as I have. Anyway, I entered Lily Grove, healed up, and headed straight for the Safari Zone. I read a lot of rules about how the Safari Zone works in a Nuzlocke, including you can catch as much Pokemon as you want until the time/steps runs out, or 1 Pokemon in each region, but I decided to just treat the Safari Zone as 1 big open area and restricted myself to 1 encounter. So I went as far as I could into the Safari Zone without getting an encounter and caught myself a Datu, which I named Berber. I then eagerly swapped Berber into the team for Blossom. This is great, as I now have my permanent flyer on my team. I then wanted to buy some TMs, only to be blocked off by May. Petrophius nearly took out Jeremy, but the level difference was far too great. I don't know why I kept Jeremy in. Looking back, it was a terrible idea. Maybe I should stop going in guns blazing. Meh. Berber destroyed Grovyle, earning his spot on the team. Cam took out the Slugmo one-shot, and Zagzagoon took out Pelipper after it kept spamming Protect. I headed to Mount Pyre and caught myself a Shuppet. A ghost type would be great for the team. I named Shuppet Ragman, and I then realised that he is a she. A geek again. I headed to the top and met the Blue Men group again, who kept saying wow, just look at that chest hair. Who wanted to steal a red orb from an old married couple because, oh my god, they want to purge the world undersea. I thought they were a music band this whole time, but they're actually an evil team. They still took the red orb so that the Blue Men group could use the red orb for their blue purpose on the Blue Sea. I mean, I'm just a kid, but I think something's definitely wrong here. I swapped my Spitey out, shocker, for Ragdoll, and then wondered what the Red Man group were doing. We headed to the Jagged Pass, to their hideout, and caught a Graveler, who I called Mr. Boom. At least it's not a Poochiana. I fought my way through what I now know is an evil team. Have me fooled. I then found their leader in red, and also has a blue orb for his red purpose, which I think is to, oh my god, you want to do what? Why is the orb glowing? Why is it coming my way? Whatever it was, it then did a runner. I then muttered, because it's the wrong orb, you absolute idiot, I don't know how you could get your colours mixed up. But Maxie heard me, and then challenged me to a battle, which wasn't too bad. You know, Jeremy ruled. The Blue Men group tried to steal a Sunbrine. I beat them all up, but sadly wasn't quick enough to get to the Sunbrine in time. So I hit Route 124 and caught myself a Tentacool, which I named Fajitas. I then caught another Tentacool I called Burritos, and another one called Wraps. I was very hungry. I then caught myself a Sveal in Shoal Cave, which I named Chubbs. Evolved Ragman, swapped Soul Train out for Chubbs, evolved Chubbs, trained everyone to level 40, drowned Tate and Liza, winning me my 7th badge. I then beat up the Reds in the space station, teamed up with Stevie to drown Maxie. From all the drowning, Stevie thought I should have the HM dive in case I drowned the wrong person. So I then went for a dive and caught Jules the Clampearl. Did anyone else ever use a Clampearl? I just couldn't be bothered to evolve it. I then made it to Sutopolis City, which must be a pain for the locals coming and going. I also caught myself a level 5 magic carp I called Skittles. I then made my way to the seafloor cabin and caught a golbat I called Mole. I wasn't intending on using one as I thought it would be too much effort to evolve it via friendship at level 34. I then spent 6 minutes solving one of the hardest puzzles of my childhood. You all remember how you were stuck on here? We never had the internet. We couldn't find the answer. I then found the TM for Earthquake, told Archie that the orb should be blue, dumbass, and that he should do something about his chest hair, which he didn't like. He then challenged me to a battle, which I clearly sweeped. I then watched him make the same mistake with the orbs, and then had to watch both groups act shocked at what they unleashed. I ain't believing a word they say. They knew what they were doing. Then I watched the second best cutscene in a Pokemon game, followed by the most epic battle in Pokemon game history. They're just standing there. I went to the Cave of Origin and met Wallace, who said go to Sky Pillar and find Rayquaza. I also caught Ice 2 as well. I caught a Wingull I called Bird and ascended to Sky Pillar, and Wallace already beat me there. Why should I go? You're the champion. Why am I here? I then caught a Claydol called Plushie, said hi to Rayquaza, flew back to top of the city, and then watched the greatest cutscene of my childhood. I remember back in the day, this was revolutionary when I watched this for the first time. And thus, peace was restored. The weather returned to normal, and yeah, gym time. I battled my way through each gym and evolved Chubbs into Walrein. I then took on Juan, but oh my Arceus. Most of his team was fine, except for his Kingdra. My god, I knew Kingdra was tough, but seriously? He kept spamming double team and made it impossible for me to hit him. I had to use Walrein as it took all of his hits so I could heal everybody up. Even when I did hit Kingdra, it would just use rest. Or Juan would use a Hyper Potion. My only tactic was to stall it out until it eventually ran out of PP. I didn't think I'd have to do this for this run. I managed to do that until it lost all of its PP, except for Double Team. I thought this was a big problem. But then my idiotic self realised Ragman has Feint Attack. So a Will-O-Wisp and a few Feints and I won my 8th badge. The battle with Kingdra took 17 real life minutes. 17 minutes just to take down a Kingdra just because it spammed Double Team. My brain didn't register Ragman knew Feint Attack, but I still managed to overcome it and win. With all 8 badges, I headed straight for the Pokemon League. I got hassled by Shades again. I entered Victory Road catching another Golbat I named Boomtown, and I remembered I had a Super Rod and managed to cap myself a Love Disc, which I called Hatred. It didn't really matter because I knew that this was my team for the final run of the game, which I will— oh hi Wally, what's with the angry look on your face? He then murdered Ragman. I brought Blossom back to the team and fought my way through Victory Road. It actually wasn't too bad, until a Slacking with Ice Beam showed up. It took out Blossom, who had only just joined the team. I then drowned all the Slackings. I made it to the league, but I knew I need to reassess my team. I was struggling. Should I choose Pushy the Claydol? Miss Bitey again? Oh wait, I completely forgot. I headed over to Rustboro City and picked up Bug Boy, the Anorath, the fossil I forgot to retrieve. He's going to be very useful. Battle Armor is a great ability. So, I then made the sad decision to box Zagzagoon. I realised Bug Boy is actually a better choice. I boxed him immediately and took out Skittles the Magikarp. I did some training and evolved both Skittles and Bug Boy to Gyarados and Armaldo. So this is my final team. I hear you ask, I wonder how well they will do. Will everybody survive? What pizza should I order? Let's find out. Sydney and his dark types weren't too bad. Jeremy brick-breaked his way through. I'd used Cam to take advantage of his Cacturne and Shifty's grass type and fire blasted them to death. Even after Shifty got off a double team. For Phoebe, Skittles just earthquaked everyone. That's pretty much it. For all the ice types, I pretty much used the same tactic as with Sydney, except I used Cam against her 2 pure ice types. But a Walrein is a brick wall. I was running low on brick breaks as well, so I decided to have a Walrein off. Even though I was 2 levels higher than her, hers outsped me. I was trying to whittle it down with a body slam and hopefully get a paralysis. I never got the paralysis, and she just kept restoring. Then she used body slam once. Just used it one time and got a paralysis. Like, what the hell, woman? I swapped to Jeremy. He took a critical hit surf that dropped him to below half. I hit her with a brick break, but that wasn't enough. I then survived the surf, barely. I hit her with another brick break, but she full restored again. I swapped to Skittles, who managed to earthquake her to death. 1 more Elite 4 member to go until I get to the champion. Jeremy earthquaked the Shelgon. Chubbs must have 20/20 vision, because she hit both Blizzards and took out both the Salamence and the Altarnary, who are both 4 times weak to ice. Skittles got off a Dragon Dance and took out Kingdra, thank goodness. Flygon was a little tricky and managed to outsped and take a waterfall from Jeremy. I would have taken out Jeremy if I didn't switch. Chubbs managed to finish it off with Aurora Beam. Elite 4 down, and now for the champion, Wallace. Really wish Ragman was with us right now. or Square, or not Pikachu. But hey, on the positive note, no one's dead yet. I haven't even had to use Bug Boy or Burr. Jeremy took out Walrein with 2 Earthquakes. But then, the unpredictable happened. His ace, his toughest Pokemon, the one Pokemon that could take out my entire team, Ludicolo, with Double Team. Jeremy put up a good fight, but he managed to set up too many double teams and got Elite Seed off. I also didn't know Ludicolo knew Giga Drain, and thankfully he never used it. I swapped him out for Burr but couldn't hit both Flies and nearly died. I thought I should have used Burr, but as Fly takes 2 turns, it would have made no difference as double team would have been at full effect. I then realised I taught Bug Boy my ace move. Aerial Ace, a move that never misses. He nearly got knocked out on the switch thanks to Surf. I then came to the same tactic as with Juan. Stall until all damaging moves ran out of PP and then used Bug Boy to Aerial Ace us to victory. It worked and took an entire 15 minutes. Both Juan and Wallace spammed me with double teams. It seems to be a common theme here, as I'm sure Juan was taught by Wallace. No wonder they're so powerful. I can't believe I had to go through this twice. Gittles tried to thrash his Gyarados but got confused in the process, took a Hyper Beam to the face and realised it didn't want to live anymore, and hit itself with confusion. Goodbye Skittles. I then made the unusual choice and sent out Cam, who was 4 times weak to water. However, I knew Gyarados needs a recharge after that Hyper Beam, and managed to Rock Slide it to death. Jeremy one-shot the Tentacruel with Earthquake, and I tried to use Burr to avoid the Earthquake on the Wish Cast, but ended up letting it set up an Amnesia, so Burr didn't really do much damage. Fortunately, Chubs managed to take it out. I then used Jeremy against my Milotic, who managed to Earthquake his way to victory. I did it. I finished my first Nuzlocke. That was actually really fun. I really enjoyed replaying Emerald, and it brought back a lot of memories. I even enjoyed the added challenge with these extra rules. I would definitely do this again, and hopefully you all want to see that. It's also nice to have a new hatred for new Pokemon. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, advice, tips, what else you want to see me do. I was thinking of doing a randomised Nuzlocke, but I'm not sure which game to do it on. I will probably do more of these, but they do take a while and time to edit. And with current life moves, I'm struggling to find time to be able to do all this. But with your support, I'll hopefully be in a position where I can fire out these videos more regularly. I know there is a hidden final boss, Steve, which I wouldn't mind doing. I didn't do this for the run because I wanted to get this video edited and out as soon as possible. I'll probably do it for another video as an add-on. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, like, comment and subscribe to help support the channel. And I'll see you in the next one.